it was becoming a team player. I really think that's important for us to be successful, for us to just even be family.
Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. Hey ladies, welcome to the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. I am your host, Veronica Cisneros. So I got a little bit of a surprise for you and maybe a surprise for her. I'm just kidding. I don't want to freak her out anymore because right now her ass cheeks are clenched and she's scared out of her mind because this is her first podcast interview. I want to welcome to the show a very passionate owner of Beauty Mark Hair Salon with a transformative journey spanning 5 impactful years as a salon owner. With over 2 decades as a skilled hairdresser, she's evolved from humble beginnings to achieving remarkable 6-figure success. Her purpose goes beyond hair. It's about uplifting lives. I swear, she's a therapist as well. We have 2 therapists in the family. Through her artistry, she is dedicated to turning moments of despair into empowering stories for women. So please join me by welcoming my sister, Rosalie Broderick. Hey, Ro.
Hi, Veronica. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so was I lying when I said your ass cheeks were clenched, or are they still totally clenched?
No, I'm fine.
So I haven't had you on the show. I've had Mom on the show, and it was just okay, well, let's just see where this goes. And when her and I recorded, I was like, why am I about to cry? Why am I about to cry? And the Mom cried, and I was like, well, okay, well, I don't know if we're going to get anything out of this podcast episode because we were both crying. If that happens with this one, I'm prepared. Didn't really wear a lot of makeup, but we're here. And so if you can take me through your journey, a lot of people know not all of our story, but they know more or less our story. And it's not like anybody gave you a handbook on how to establish, this successful business that you have now. So take me through where it started. How did you know you wanted to be, in the hair business? How did that happen?
Well, as you know, I'm a daddy's girl. So
I know. God damn it. Do you have to really? I got to remind me, and even here, totally. And I think she was his favorite. I'm just saying, Dad, I know.
Yeah, I was his favorite. I was a daddy's girl. He was a barber. I just wanted to work alongside Dad. Mm-hmm. So, that's how I wanted to be a hairdresser. Yeah, that's basically it.
Really? You just want to be like, Dad's doing it, I'm going to do it.
Sure. No, he was definitely an inspiration for me. I always thought I'd be, cutting hair alongside him. And when I started out as a barber, I didn't like it at all.
You did cut hair with Dad. You did go to the barbershop.
I did.
Which
Yeah.
barber did you go to? The Red Rooster? You were there by the
It
Red
was a red
Rooster?
clipper, red
Red
clipper
Clipper,
barber. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
How was that going with that to work?
It was nice. I mean, we would drive to work, stop
Get the
at
breakfast
yeah, get
croissants.
breakfast croissant, and yeah, it was really nice. Good memories for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn. I never got to experience that, like working with that. Obviously, I never got to experience working with dad. You did, and Ernie. So Ernie's our younger brother. You did, and Ernie did, but I remember going to work or going to drop dad off of work. But like, yeah, you and Ernie have that tradition of going. So every morning, can you explain that to him? I don't want to explain that to him. Can you explain that to him? So, what did breakfast with dad look like?
Well, we would stop at the donut shop, get a ham and cheese croissant with
Mhm.
the apple juice, and yeah, go to work every day, especially as a beginner Cosmo. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, I had to learn how to talk to clients and
Yes.
cut hair, like dad did. And he was a perfectionist. So it was a little bit difficult for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I was able to have that time with him and, you know, learn from him. So it was fun at times as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, for sure.
So kind of watching dad and then you being right next to him.
It's a
Um,
little intimidating.
right?
Yeah, he's
Right?
he's he's been cutting hair for a long time. I'm barely getting into it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a little bit intimidating for sure.
So you mentioned, in your bio it says humble beginnings. I remember back in the day when you would work, when you ended up going to a salon, you were working for a salon. I think it was like right by the mall. It was or
It
right
was a
by.
Paul Mitchell salon, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And I remember back in the day, like going and like putting flyers on cars, and like really, really building up your clientele. Um, you did a lot of work on your own, like a whole hell of a lot of work on your own. How the hell did you do that? You were married, however, you didn't have that support from your husband, that like, hey, you can do this support, it was you were primary on your own. Like, what
Well,
was
for
it?
sure.
Go ahead.
And back then we didn't have the social media that we have now. It was basically word of mouth. Um, you're right. I would pass out flyers and put them on everyone's car,
Yeah.
in our parking lot. Um, but yeah, it took a lot of dedication and consistency to be able to get where I am right now.
A lot of
Definitely.
a lot of people, from our past, have said, like, I one person in particular that I'm thinking about, and I won't say her name, but one person I'm thinking about, I had a conversation with her, and she reached out for help, and she had said, you know what, Veronica, she goes, I show my daughter, both you and Ro, I show her your
Mhm.
guys's videos, and she's like, and I've told her, like, you have no idea, like, we didn't come from much, like all of us, all of us growing up, we didn't come from anything really, and just, she's like watching you and watching Ro and just seeing, your guys' success. She's like, she goes, it is, she's like, it is inspiring. And so a lot of people don't know what it took to go ahead and, you know, um, it kind of reminds me of that Drake song, like started from the bottom, now we're here, and that song is so freaking true. It is so freaking true. So there are a lot of women on here listening to us have this conversation. What was it? Because like a lot of people start, however, they don't, I don't want to say they don't finish. They finish in their own right, but like they don't believe that this is possible. Like I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way you and I should be like statistically, there's no way you and I should be where we're at. Like we should be like, 18 kids, and on government
Mhm.
assistance and like,
Sure.
right? And so what was it for you?
I mean, I guess you could say don't give up. I tell a lot of clients, even, coworkers, I'm failing my way to the top. There's a lot
Oh,
of
love
failure.
that.
Yeah,
Love
there's a
that.
lot of failure in succeeding.
Yeah.
And, as you're trying to reach your goals, I mean, I can just say, don't stop, be consistent.
Yeah.
There'll be good and bad weeks. Um, but yeah, you just don't stop. A lot of people always ask me, "Oh my gosh, you're always here at the salon. Do you ever get days off?" Yeah, of course I do. I'm just consistently here. I'm
Yeah.
consistently putting myself out there, and I don't stop.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Where did that
that's
come from? Where did that come from? Because, like, I mean, you and I have both been, I mean, I've called you and I'm like, "Bro, I remember having a conversation with you, and you were actually the one that really helped me, like, with opening up my business." I remember you saying, like, you know, I remember you saying, like, it just you just need to start. Like, you just like, just start. Like, just
oh, for
start
sure.
right now. Yeah, just start. And it's like, okay. And it felt like, back in the day when we used to play double dutch, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna go in now. I'm gonna go in now, right? And it was like, oh shit, okay, not yet. Homegirl's going a little bit too fast, but like it felt like that. And so for you, like, we didn't have this, and I know I keep on circling back to this, but we didn't have this. Like, dad busted his ass. Mom busted her ass,
Sure.
Dad busted his ass in, like, he would work. He would work all the time, However, he was also running from something. He was also running from something in his addiction, and he he had dreams of having his own barbershop, and that didn't happen for dad. And that's something we all, like, yes, dad, you could do it. And although we were like there and like, yes, dad, you could do it, like, for whatever reason, maybe it might have been confidence, maybe it might have been, his addiction, whatever it was, it didn't happen. And mom, I remember mom back in the day, like, remember, she used to sell candies from the front. We used to sell candies from the front.
Sure.
What would you say, like, because, yeah, we can tell people, go for it, right? I mean, shit, Nike says just do it, right? And we wear the shoes and we know the slogan, but to actually do it. You mentioned, can you repeat what you said? You said, I've succeeded through failures. How did you say that phrase?
I feel my way to the top and
Yes,
continue. Yeah,
beautiful.
for
I
sure.
love the way you say that. Tell me when you wanted to quit. Do you remember the time where you were like, you know what, fuck this, dude. I don't want to fucking do this anymore.
You know what? I would say that I didn't. I didn't have that as an option. I mean,
Oh,
I have two
boys.
sons. Um, yeah, when they were 14 and 16, I had to raise them on my own. So failure's not an option. I mean, a lot of people say, well, it's scary, or I just can't, or there's, you know, it, you're lucky you had
Yeah.
it, easier. Like, no, I
No.
didn't. I just didn't have that as an option.
I know looking for the right therapist can be challenging. However, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is even harder. Life is filled with several twists and turns, some more severe than others. We do our best to handle them as they come and find ourselves at a loss, not knowing what to do or who to turn to. The clinicians here at Outside the Norm Counseling are here to help. We are here to assist you through this time of need. Together, we will identify your strengths and goals and teach you healthy coping skills. Together, we will develop a plan to help you live the life you want to live. Our team is compassionate, genuine, and we take a great deal of pride in providing an empathetic, non-judgmental approach to all of our clients. It's time! You've waited long enough, whether it be for you, your child, or if you're in need of a couple session. We are highly trained clinicians ready to guide you. Schedule an appointment now by calling 951-395-3288. Again, that number is 951-395-3288. We're looking forward to meeting you and being a part of your journey.
What don't people know about that? So take me there. What don't people, like, people are saying, yeah, you're lucky. I've heard that too. And I'm like, girl, first off, fucking, staying up till 11 o'clock and then waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And my husband's deployed, in another damn country, in war. Like, no, I didn't have it lucky. Like, nobody gave me this shit. So tell me about yours.
Okay, so let me just compare both me and you. You're educated, you went to go get your bachelor's. I went to get a trade. I mean, a lot of people say, well, you have to be educated, you have to have your bachelor's. No, you just have to have something you're passionate about. Do even just a little bit of research and ask a lot of questions to get where you need to be. I mean, I started out, I put my salon on a credit card.
Yeah.
$30,000 I pulled out. I
Yeah.
got a 0% interest credit card and paid for all of my salon equipment. I went to the city of Temecula and asked them, hey, I want to be a business owner. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you please help? You'd be surprised of all the people who are willing to help you get where you need to be. All you have to do is open your mouth and ask questions. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I did was ask a lot of questions to people that could help me. Um, but yeah, as far as going back to dad and mom, I mean, we seen dad not open a barbershop, not
Yeah.
do that. And that was inspiration for me because I thought to myself, well, I am passionate about hair and I want to do it. I
Yeah.
want to be able to do something he couldn't for whatever reason.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was great. He was great inspiration for me, for
Yeah.
sure.
The other point, you mentioned the boys. Like, the boys were your why. Like,
Oh, sure.
right? Even if I don't wanna wake up in the morning
Sure.
and go, do this,
Yeah.
because your appointments, some of your appointments, were like, 7, 6 or whatever,
5, 6, yeah,
yeah,
in the morning.
in
Yes.
the morning.
Sure.
I can hear a lot of women say, "Screw that, I'm not waking up at 5 in the morning." Yeah, well, that might be why you're not achieving the goals that you wanna achieve. That might
Oh,
be why you're, maybe where you don't wanna be at right now. Like, it is those moments where it's like, okay, yeah, I could say fuck it. I could say I'm not getting up. However, at what cost? And it sounds like for you,
there
I'm
was
not
no
even, go ahead. Sorry.
There was no excuse. I mean, I don't have time for excuses. I don't have time for depression. I don't have time for any of that. I just have a goal and I have to get there. That's all. That's what's on my mind. And that's what makes me successful. I don't stop.
Yeah. And the goal, tell us more about the goal.
Just to have stability as a hairdresser. We do not have pensions. We do not have 401ks, all that good stuff. So, I mean, I just say I stack up my chips. Right now, I'm, in stocks and getting into real estate.
Hmm.
I'm having my money work for me. So, I
Is
mean,
that for you? Is that for you solely, or is that for the
100%.
boys?
It's for all of us. It's so I
Hmm.
can teach them what I did not learn as a kid.
Bingo.
Yeah, for sure.
Bingo.
For sure.
Hmm.
So, it's helping my kids change their path on what it could have been if I followed
The other
what
route.
our dad exactly, for sure.
The other route. Um, and that you have, like, literally created this very, very clear path for the boys. Like, like the directions and everything, like step by step directions for the boys. And you didn't stop. And I know personally the sacrifices you've made, because I've watched you, maybe not make all of them, but I have watched you make a good amount of them,
Sure.
and I mean, shit, I remember back in the day, like, with Chris's or Isaac's birthday parties. Like, I remember you're like, Veronica, I need you to set this up. And it's like, okay, well, where are you going, bro? And it's like, well, I gotta pay for this shit.
Yeah, I gotta pay
I
for it.
gotta
Yeah,
pay for it. So I
of course.
remember, like, you're gonna set this up, mom and I would do whatever. And then you were like, all right, I'm gonna go. And you would be at the
I have to come
salon,
back.
right? And then you would come back right when the party, just before the party was about to start. And it's like,
Sure.
okay, and you were able to, boom, boom, boom. And you did it. And bro, like, I just gotta say, like, I am so proud of you. Like, I am so proud of you because, although people can see, like, the things that you have and go, oh, that must have been easy. Like,
Oh, not at all.
no, like, and I gave those images of, like, literally, like, she's hustling at work
to pay the freaking clown that showed up for the birthday
Sure,
party. You know, she
sure.
went to work, you know, to pay for the balloons or the cake or whatever it was. But it's like that constant sacrifice, you know?
Yeah. And I just want to stress that it's not huge sacrifices that you have to make. It's all the little
Yeah.
sacrifices you have to make in order to achieve that big goal there. And big example for your kids because your kids are watching.
Yeah. You've always had, excuse me, you've always had this fight in you. Like, and it's something I definitely have admired. Like, you've always had this fight in you, even when we were kids. I mean,
You
some of
got
the,
underneath.
some of the times I was ready to shake the shit out of you. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I'm not going to bring up the milk. Not going to bring up the milk. I swear,
Not again.
I swear I must have PTSD about the milk. You guys already know about the milk story. About my sister dropping the milk and the bags of groceries on this long extended road and making my ass pick it all up. Anyway, I'm not still hurt about it. But anyway, we've always had this fight in you. Like I remember, you know, and I appreciate that you said that, you know, that dad inspired you with
Sure.
regards to like, I'm, you know, okay, he might not have been able to do this. However, it doesn't mean that I can't do this. And I'm
Sure.
going to go ahead and reach out for it. Another component, you know, I would say was, you know, watching you and mom. Like I remember, you know, we obviously would like, and it's still memories that come up for me. But like, remember we would go on paper routes with mom, and then we would
Sure.
wake up the next morning and go to school, right?
That work ethic. Yeah.
Right? That yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
100%.
don't get me wrong. I can't smell newspaper now to save my life.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no,
Yeah.
fucking don't
Don't
even
want to
get me
smell
near it,
it.
right? Not a chance in hell. Or the damn rubber bands. The damn rubber bands. Right.
Yeah.
But like as I remember, and I'm the oldest, but I remember like there were times where dad didn't go to work and dad would whatever money he brought home for that day, he didn't have like, you know, a check that came in. Like it was literally whatever he brought home for that day, that's what we had to eat.
Sure.
That's what we had for, you know, however many days it would last us. There were times that dad wouldn't come home. And you know, I remember mom would go to apartments and ask, you know, if she could be part of like, you know, cleaning before tenants moved in or cleaning after. And I would always say, there's no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I remember I was like, no, that's not, nope, I'm not doing it. And a part of it was because it's like, God darn it. Like, when are you and dad going to get your shit together? Like, when is this going to happen? When is dad's going to stop using? When are we going to stop being in this constant battle? And then the other part was like, shit, you know, I don't want to go because what if I run into one of my friends? You, on the other hand, you're like, where are we going? Where are we going? You know, am I taking the Windex? Are they providing Windex? Like, what was that, bro? Do you remember that?
Well, sure. I mean, it was becoming a team player. I really think that's important for us to be successful, for us to just even be family. I mean, I don't have time for resentment. Don't get me wrong, it lingers in the back of your head, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what can you do if somebody needs your help? If especially your mom, you know, I
Yeah,
don't have time to think about who's going to be embarrassed of me or if
yeah.
my mom needs my help. And for whatever reason that she, you know, picked her life choices with dad or even decided to just clean houses, I had to be there for her.
What was that? Like, what was that? Like, what? There's something deeper. Like, what is that? And what I mean by there's something deeper, it kind of goes back to like, you know, this just needs to get done. However it's gonna happen, it needs to get done. Like, what is that?
Well, maybe you could say it's codependency. I don't know what you I don't know.
No,
It's
I
again
don't
for
know.
me it's just me being there for family, you know, my mom, your family
Yeah,
member.
yeah,
I don't know how to else to explain it.
yeah. And and I'm not saying like what is that like in a negative way. It's like that consistent like it doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you got other shit to do. It's like, okay, well this needs to get done. We're not going to make excuses. we're just going to get it done. And then, whoever wants to bitch about it afterwards can bitch. But for right now, it's like, just tell me where I need to be and I'm going to be there.
Sure.
And right. Like, and I would say that you've had that, like that's something I want to highlight, because you've had it. Like, I could be tired, I could be whatever. Like, it just needs to happen. Like,
For sure.
so, right.
Of
Right.
course.
Has there ever been a time where you were able to kind of like look at all of the things you've accomplished, like all of it, like just kind of sit back and look at the things that you've accomplished and like kind of like celebrate it or pat yourself on the back, like just kind of look at like, holy shit, I was a little mocosa changas, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, even when we go to the river trips, I mean, we all have boats. I mean, our kids are laughing. Our kids don't have to worry about anything. Our kids see that example. And I'm able to just sit there and reflect and say, you know what? We have the better things in life because of all that hard work. Sure, it definitely feels great. But I feel like for me, it's more everyone is here together. Our time spent, that is so valuable to me, versus the cars, the house, the boats, whatever. It really doesn't mean
Yeah.
much. More so is that we're here and able to have these fun memories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Is
it's
that
definitely rewarding.
is that how you would define success? Like,
100%. Success is time spent, um, stability, and those small sacrifices that your kids see, you know, in order for you to get to your goals, and finishing things, accomplishing it, not just being half, what is it? Saying I'm going to fail and
yeah.
it's okay. I tried it and it wasn't for me. And that's okay too, to be able to try things, but definitely finishing things it's huge success.
So when your boys are older, what do you want them to say about their mom?
Oh God, no. Just that I was there and that
Yeah.
I helped provide their path, and was an example to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've definitely 1,000% done that. And I absolutely love the boys, even though they all, Chris looks like a freaking linebacker. His ass is so tall. I'll still carry
Yeah,
his ass. I don't even care. And Isaac as well. Like, they're so tall. They're so handsome. They're so amazing. I mean, you have amazing, amazing boys. Absolutely.
thank
They're
you.
my, they're my babies. And it's Chris's birthday today. It's
Today's his
Chris's
birthday.
birthday. I know. I tried to call his ass to sing to him.
Yeah.
I was gonna leave it on the on his voicemail, but then I know he's gonna try to sell it and get a record deal. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'll go ahead and call him at another time. I'll go ahead and call him, make it live,
Sure.
because I don't want him to record it. But today's his birthday. We're definitely gonna celebrate Chris, my babies, my snaky. Thank you so much for being
Of
on this
course.
podcast, this podcast episode, and recording this with me. How was it? Was it as bad as you thought?
No, it's not as bad. Thank you so much for making it perfect. Sure. No, it was nice.
Oh, Ro, I love you. And I am like, damn, I am so proud of you. And
Thank you.
I admire your work ethic. I admire you as a
Thank you.
mom.
We're inspiration to each other. For
Yeah,
sure.
I admire all of it. All of it. Thank you.
Of course. Definitely.
All right, you guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Raise your hand if you are ready to level up your marriage for 2023. Do you find that you're spending your time together with your husband checked out and in front of the TV? I know you're ready for tangible strategies that actually get you results. Reignite the spark in your marriage, have fun, and grow together. Well, I hope you have your hand raised at this minute because I have something special for you. I'm introducing my brand new 6-question marriage predictor quiz that's gonna give you personalized results to catapult you into the next stage of your marriage journey. That means you'll receive the results to where your marriage can get the best help. If you've got just 1 minute, head to veronicacisneros.org/quiz. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, and you could take my brand new quiz, Marriage Predictor. Get your results delivered right to your email address. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, veronicacisneros.org/quiz. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and through our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there. Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and through our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.